Hello, welcome. I am here today to talk about Chiron. What is Chiron? Chiron is a celestial body that orbits the sun, and it's represented as the wounded healer. What is the wounded healer? The wounded healer in astrology can show what our biggest wounds are, where our deepest pain is. It can represent our traumas, our experiences that have affected maybe some of the ways that we live. So why is Chiron so important? Chiron is so very important because it not only shows us what our biggest traumas are, our biggest pain, it can be a catalyst, a portal, a gateway to our biggest transformation, our gateway to the path in which we walk to discover what it is that heals us. It is the portal to how we can show up for others. So each person's Chiron may be different. Chiron, this minor planet, this asteroid, whatever you consider it to be, is such a catalyst for transformation. I feel compelled to share my journey with Chiron because I know that it's going to help others. So you gotta feel to heal. And it wasn't until I acknowledged the darkest parts of myself that I was able to gain more clarity and continue to gain more clarity on how I live my life, how I interact with others, how others may trigger me, how others may activate me. And my journey with Chiron has been such an eye-opening experience because by sitting with the darkest parts of myself, it allows me to acknowledge what's there and decide then what to do with it. It allowed me to dance with my shadow, to give safe space to these areas of my life experience and, in a sense, set flowers at the feet of the versions of myself that I used to not be so proud of. And now I can look back at these versions of me knowing that they have gotten me to this place that I'm currently at. and allow me to continuously evolve and shift and grow. So my journey with Chiron started with really just initially me diving more into astrology. And I'll go back a little bit actually. I didn't know what my Chiron was. I didn't even know what Chiron was. I was dabbling in astrology here and there. What first happened for me is through years of living in fight or flight and living outside of my body, because that is how my body initially learned how to be safe. This happened so many times that I didn't know how to come back into my body and feel safe. So living outside of myself was something I had been doing for quite some time. And it took a lot of time for me to offer myself forgiveness and offer myself patience and understanding throughout this process, and to not place any shame or guilt on myself. And to take responsibility in the now in how I can choose to create safe space for myself and what that looks like. So, taking a breath with that. So in 2020, after about a year of having autoimmune symptoms that were very severe, I was then diagnosed about halfway through those symptoms, about 6 months into those symptoms, I was diagnosed with lupus. And then it gave me a name for what I was experiencing. And I contracted shingles in the area in which my solar plexus is, along the nerve endings of the abdomen. And why is this so significant for me? It's significant for a few different reasons. So the way in which I discovered this may look different for you. I have a strong sense that if you're watching this video, that maybe some of the same ways that the universe decided to present this information to me may allow you to have clarity on your journey, whether it's an autoimmune journey, a mental health journey, or somewhat of a connected journey between the two, because I know mine were very connected, my mental health journey and my autoimmune journey. So, yeah, I contracted shingles in my abdomen, and this is my solar plexus area. And I came to find a little bit later that I was highly drawn to one specific crystal. The first crystal that I ever chose consciously for myself was citrine. And citrine is a stone associated for the solar plexus, which I learned later on. This stone helps promote inner authority activation. It promotes more joy and authentic expression, inner power, inner authority. So the solar plexus also represents the fire chakra. And I learned that in my astrological chart, I don't have any fire in my chart. I'm all air and earth and just a dot of water. I may have a house or two that are in fire signs, but for the most part, I learned that my journey here on Earth is to open, activate, step into, and embody my inner fire. Because I am the creator of my life. I can do this. And for a while, I stayed in the story of, oh, I'm a triple air sign, I'm in the clouds all the time, and it's difficult for me to have my inner fire lit. No, it's not. It is my calling, my mission to learn how to continue my eternal flame. We all have an eternal flame. It doesn't matter what your astrology chart looks like. It doesn't matter what crystals you're attracted to. We all have that inner fire. So I learned later on that astrologically, my Chiron is in Leo. Why is this significant? Leo is inner child energy. It's childlike energy. It's childlike wonder. What initially activated me in my spiritual awakening, my conscious awakening, we don't even have to call it spiritual. I literally came back into my body after not being in my body for 25 plus years. As that journey started, I started to get messages in the form of what my inner child loved so dearly, what I still love so dearly, signs that only I would understand. And it was and continues to be such a beautiful experience of literally having a conversation with the universe and learning that through these signs, these signals, these synchronicities, that I am the universe experiencing itself, and the universe is me, and I am the universe. So Leo is a fire sign. Leo represents the inner child. Leo embodies childlike wonder. For a long, long time throughout my life, I always used to say that having a connection to the essence of who you are and were as a child is like being with Source. The closest we are to Source is the day that we're born, even in the womb, and we can get back to that place. It's like there's the string attached to me as 32 years old and me in the womb, or even before that. And there's nothing that's keeping this string from becoming detached other than limiting beliefs, other than toxic situations, toxic people, toxic chemicals, toxic water. There are so many things that may distract us from knowing that that string is still attached, but it can never be severed. It can never be severed. So just know that that connection to oneness is still there. It's still present. It's still within you. And that there are practices that can bring you back to this oneness, this interaction with the universe. So my Chiron in Leo activated my biggest wounds. My biggest wounds. My inner child was hurting so bad. She was screaming out to me through my abdomen, through my solar plexus, screaming at me, saying, please, please, give safe space for me. And what does that look like for me? It looks like creating healthy boundaries. It means setting aside time in my day to meditate with myself, to breathe with myself, to practice yoga. Initially, for me, moving my body with conscious breath through yoga is literally what brought me back into my body and what brought me back into being conscious in this present moment. Was that always easy? Is it always easy? No. Like, there are times where I find myself wanting to escape. And then I have to, in a sense, provide safe space for myself and recognize that and be like being curious. Why do I feel like I need to leave my body right now? Is there a situation, a person that's triggering me? Does this need to change, or does something inside of me need to change? And a lot of the times it's both. Recognizing that that in a sense, for me, it was recognizing what I wasn't that helped this transformation and continues to, until there are times where I recognize, okay, this feels right. Follow the vibe, follow your heart, follow your inner authority. Now, your inner authority is going to look different, and I'm going to make a separate video for that. Which I know I touched on it, and there's a lot more to go over. Like, your inner authority can be different than mine. So the way in which your body screams out to you could be through, I mean, even as intense as contracting shingles on the back at near the heart chakra, or on the face, representing either your voice, your third eye, or your crown chakras. Like, truly, it's going to look different for each person. You don't have to, you're not going to contract shingles. You might, but that's not going to be what that looks like for most people. So, the body screams out in many different ways through disease, dis-ease, the opposite of ease. Yeah, so Chiron opened up the avenue of me acknowledging my inner child, my hurt inner child. Now, how is Chiron the transformer? How is Chiron representative of not just my biggest wound, but my biggest source of healing and stepping into who I'm called to be? The journey along not just discovering, but acknowledging and sitting with that pain has shown me ways in which I can come back to myself, and it has shown me how to be my own healer. And now I'm feeling called to share that with others. So Chiron is not just representative of your biggest pain, it is the catalyst for how you step into being whatever healer that you're being called to be. So a Chiron in Leo is a healer of expression. When I discovered this, it felt so in alignment with what I feel called to do that it just made sense. You may not be a healer of expression. You can have a Chiron in Aquarius, a Chiron in Gemini, a Chiron in Sagittarius, in Scorpio, in Virgo, in Libra. Whatever it is, it can show you where you're hurting the most, what may be holding you back. just by having the intention and planning the intention to sit with that, give it space, not force it out. This is going to sound weird, but have you ever seen the movie The Ring? Okay. I don't like horror movies now. But Samara, the girl that kept coming out of the TV, all she wanted was someone to give space for her story, for her pain. Once acknowledged, she was like, "Okay, good. I'm gone. I'm peace out. I'm good." Our pain just wants to be acknowledged. Otherwise, it's going to continue to subconsciously haunt us. I know that's a kind of weird ass analogy, but it's there. So it may seem like this scary thing until you realize that all it wants is to have safe space to be seen and to be heard. For me, my inner child just needed to be seen and to be heard and held. And then it literally opened a pathway for me to voice to others that just by expressing who it is that I am, where I'm at in my journey, I'm by no means perfect. What is perfect? It's this imaginary word, just like normal is. Stepping into my vulnerability, stepping into the truth of my journey has freed me from any expectation to be anything else but who I am. And by doing that, I really do believe that it is encouraging others to do the same. I am a healer of expression. Do I heal you? No. I hold space for you to heal yourself. And with that being said, I offer coaching, guided meditations, astrological readings, tarot, and soon to be trauma-informed introspective breathwork therapy in August, where I hold safe space for you to, let's say, discover what your Chiron is. Do I sit here with you and tell you that your Chiron is in Gemini and this is how you can do X, Y, and Z? No. We discover that your Chiron is in Gemini, and then we either breathe through, move through with Reiki, we access universal messages through tarot, we look at the rest of your astrological chart and see what aspects may be affecting your Chiron, whatever it is. And we open up safe space for you to be the navigator of this journey, for you to learn how to be your own healer, to open up your innate expression, to illuminate your innate expression. So I'll go ahead and put my link tree below, and I have a website that is in the works, and I just look forward to connecting with you and honoring wherever you are in your journey.